With the release of Pokemon Legends EA and its DLC, there's obviously one Pokemon that's been on the minds of everyone playing: Zygarde. Ever since its introduction, his parallels to one of Dragon Ball's most iconic villains are clear, from small larva forms growing with time to the ultimate fighters, even both unlocking higher forms when pushed to their limit. The question today is, who would really win between Perfect Cell and Zygarde? And is it even close? My name is Mr. Catface, and this is Catface Versus. In fact, this is the first video on this channel. Here, we're going to focus on versus debate discussion and power scaling questions. The only rule here is to keep it civil. Alright? Let's go. Let's start with Perfect Cell, as he's the OG Green Perfect guy. Dr. Zero is one of the major players in the Red Ribbon Army, a powerful terrorist organization in the world of Dragon Ball. Goku, as a child, wiped out nearly all of them in his raid on the base. Dro managed to escape, and from then on, he would swear revenge on the Saiyan who ruined him. Dro has made many androids in his attempts to best Goku, with Cell being his greatest creation. Cell is a bio-android, being an android that is made of biomatter. He was grown in a test tube and eventually was ready to obtain perfection. The small larval grew and eventually politely borrowed a time machine from the future Trunks and went back in time. He named himself Imperfect Cell, and he had one goal: absorb androids 17 and 18. Once he did, he would be perfect. Now, most people watching already know all of that. Cell is one of the most iconic villains in anime history, being featured several times in both crossovers and other parts of the series. This video is going to focus on Cell Saga Cell, as that is really the only canon Cell. No GT or Cell Max here. Cell is an absolute beast, even as just imperfect. Future Trunks easily killed Mecha Frieza at the start of the saga, who was way weaker than the androids, who were weaker than Perfect Cell. Even at a low ball baseline, Mecha Frieza is a dozen times above planet level, casually destroying planets in his suppressed first form. Not only is this his weakest form, by a long shot, but Planet Vegeta is much bigger than Earth. Several different calculations have gotten this feat to dwarf star level, or even small star level, using the Broly movie's interpretation. Keep in mind the difference in power between first form pre-Namek Frieza and final form Android Saga Mecha Frieza isn't simply 2 or 3 times. Even just comparing their power levels would make Mecha Frieza over 220 times stronger than this Planet Vegeta feat, already putting Mecha Frieza in the large star range of power, and Perfect Cell was already leagues stronger than Frieza at that point, on top of having a great power set. See, Cell is made up of 5 characters: Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Frieza, and King Cold. If you think there's more, no, that's a misconception. The anime sort of implies he's made of more, but he could have easily learned their techniques. Even still, having access to powers like flight, ki sensing, energy production, teleportation, and insane regeneration is already crazy, even before adding on techniques like the Kamehameha, the Makan Kosapo, the Kienzan, Multiform, and Instant Transmission. Many are just energy attacks, but the instant transmission is an instant teleport, and the multiform lets Cell split himself into 4 different versions, with each being weak due to them cutting his power level with each copy. Semi-Perfect Cell may have gotten overconfident, which is a trait all the cells share, but he still managed to reach perfection. Perfect Cell has perfected versions of all the techniques, and is one of the smartest fighters in Dragon Ball, up to that point. He would also be one of the fastest. Dragon Ball characters, second to their power, are known for their loony speed. Also seems no one can agree just how fast they are. Obviously we aren't going to use speed feats from Super to scale Cell, but just due to some of his transformations and multipliers, the amount of zeros gets insane. Most people watching this have probably seen Death Battle's Omni-Man vs. Bardock, for better or for worse, but they put Bardock's speed at over 9.5 trillion times light speed. People disagree with the specific speed feat, but either way, Cell is massively faster than light, by an absurd degree. No wonder Jimmy Firecracker was having trouble following this fight. Their speed is easily in the quintillions faster than light. That's all well and good, but it's called power scaling for a reason. So just how strong is Perfect Cell? Checking out his perfect form, which is perfect, means he already scales above characters like Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta, who have long surpassed his planet level days and even past stars. Super Perfect Cell, his most powerful form, has an estimated power level of 10 billion, which even if not 100% accurate, is close. That alone puts him 20 million times higher than planet-level feats from Frieza. This easily puts Perfect Cell into the solar system levels of power, which makes sense. Cell famously boasts that he could, in fact, blow away the solar system in his fight with Gohan. While some people would take that evidence and call it a day, we're far from done. In the anime, Frieza destroying Planet Vegeta isn't just like destroying a star. It has been calculated to even be solar system level by itself. This would easily put Cell even further into the solar system tier, possibly into galaxy. After all, Broly destroyed a galaxy in a matter of seconds, and Super Perfect Cell and Broly are rather comparable. That's a lot higher than just solar system. Maybe Cell was underplaying himself. That's not where our scaling ends though. After all, Toei loves yapping about how great their characters are. Perfect Cell is straight up stated to have infinite battle power, and there were numerous statements saying Anime Cell is a threat to the entire universe. Heck, even Second Form Frieza has some. This could potentially mean Perfect Cell isn't just capable of blowing away the solar system or a galaxy, but the entire universe. The Dragon Ball universe is also much larger than our own, though it depends on if those statements are referring to the entire universal structure or just the base universe. Either way, the highest Cell can get is somewhere in the high universe range of power. I bet you didn't expect the funny Bugman to be that powerful. Now for the Pokemon of Order, Zygarde. Introduced in the 6th generation of Pokemon, Zygarde is a powerful legendary Pokemon within the X and Y games, but didn't really receive its full potential until the next generation. It is the third member of the Aura Trio, consisting of Xerneas, Yveltal, and itself. While the Life and Death Pokemon are charging the ultimate weapon, Zygarde is nowhere to be seen in the main stories of his origin games. More than likely there was a third game planned, but for one reason or another, it didn't work out. Either way, with the release of Legend ZA, our favorite green snaky doggy, our favorite Zygarde has had its time to shine. Zygarde consists of many cells, sometimes referred to as Zygarde cells or Z cells for short. Z cell. You don't think? Nah, surely not. These cells can combine and form into its 10% form, which takes the form of a very good boy. When more brought together, it reaches a 50% form, which seems to be considered its main form. Once this form takes enough damage while having the power construct ability, it gathers enough cells to reach its complete form, bringing up the full potential of the Pokemon of Order. Or almost its full potential. Zygarde keeps the peace on Earth, often battling other legendary Pokemon that threaten its home, kind of like another green Serpentine legendary from a third game. It also traveled to Alola just to battle with the Ultra Beast storming through, because it thought they needed him. Oh boy did they, but we'll get to that later. Zygarde is a ground and dragon type Pokemon. This means Zygarde is immune to electric type attacks, while resisting fire, poison, and rock types. It is weak to dragon and fairy type attacks, with it being especially weak to ice type attacks. These don't necessarily translate to one-on-one with fighting, as these are just gameplay mechanics at their core, but it is at least consistent in lore. It obviously is best at using dragon and ground type moves for devastating Draco Meteors and earthquakes, but it has great options outside of that. It can use many elements, create substitutes, and increase its already high stats. Its signature moves include Land's Wrath and 1,000 Arrows, both powerful attacks that use the earth itself to strike down its foes, even if they're flying. Core Enforcer is its strongest attack, dealing massive damage while removing the target's ability for the rest of the fight. This is obviously subjective in how it would work outside of gameplay, but it is a powerful attack nonetheless. Its own ability is called Aura Break, lessening the damage of fairy and dark type moves, which is useful for its weakness. It can also have Power Construct, which I already discussed. Starting again at a low baseline, Zygarde scales way higher than normal Pokemon like Diglett, who can cause massive earthquakes. Now, the game stats may only be a few times apart, but that's just gameplay mechanics. Zygarde is obviously millions of times stronger than the small groundy boy. Even legendaries like the legendary birds, who are considered sub-legendaries compared to Zygarde's weakest form, can fight beings like Ho-Oh and Lugia, both of which can cause massive storm that lasts for days on end. This easily puts the 10% dog form of Zygarde at continent level at least, possibly even higher. This is not considering other legendaries like Rayquaza can obliterate planets, and Zygarde is certainly comparable to them, even in its weakest forms. To truly gauge Zygarde's power, we need to look at what fights it has canonically. Zygarde went to Alola to fight the Ultra Beast, extra-dimensional Pokemon from another universe. Many of these were a threat to the universe by themselves. We could scale these individual beasts, but why do that when we can look at the real threats? Zygarde's best scaling comes from Ultra Necrozma. Necrozma is a strange Ultra Beast. It is more powerful than all the others, and its only goal seems to devour all light. The box art legends, Solgaleo and Lunala, are easily stronger than the other Ultra Beasts, and faster too. Both are capable of traveling to different Ultra wormholes in space, spanning thousands of light years in just a few minutes. This easily makes them millions of times faster, but even this is putting it lightly, when even dark matter from Super Mystery Dungeon can span an entire universe in seconds. Necrozma was not only capable of beating Solgaleo and Lunala, but fusing with them to become even stronger, multiply its strength and speed dramatically. As Ultra Necrozma, it wasn't just going to threaten the universe, it was going to devour all light from all of Ultra space. There were an infinite number of Ultra wormholes, all containing their own spaces, which could be infinite as well. If nothing else, Ultra Necrozma would and did absorb all light from an infinitely sized universe, with possibly even more alternate dimensions being attached on top of that. And Zygarde, well, he didn't beat Ultra Necrozma. At least 50% Zygarde couldn't. Goes to show that even if he's not complete, 50% Zygarde can still hang with the best. Complete form Zygarde was able to subdue Necrozma, with help, but it's debatable if he scales the Ultra Necrozma directly. If nothing else, complete form Zygarde is comparable to Ultra Necrozma. That brings us to our newest game, Pokemon Legends ZA. This game doesn't actually have any crazy feats for Zygarde. Mega Float's power was too great and it took over Lumiose Tower. Complete form Zygarde seemed to fight pretty on par with it, which is just a good feat for Floette, not Zygarde. However, when it did one last-ditch effort attack with its Light of Ruin, Zygarde was forced to Mega Evolve. Mega Evolution comes from the Hoenn region and causes a Pokemon to evolve further, past their normal limits. Mega Zygarde is way more powerful than normal complete form Zygarde. It trades physical power for a big cannon, which is so powerful, it changes its core enforcer to the powerful Nihilite Cannon, or as it's called in Japanese, light that returns to nothing. This attack is way more powerful than almost any attack in Pokemon history, and it's not just power, it also ignores stat changes from the opponent, and nothing can be immune to it. It is straight up compared to a Z-move by Lysander, the same kind of energy that Ultra Necrozma used to absorb all of Ultra Space lights. If it wasn't clear enough already, Mega Zygarde has long surpassed the power of the Ultra Beast Killer, solidifying its place as the Pokemon of Order, protector of all that is good. So who wins, the android designed for perfection, or the Pokemon determined for protection? If you've been paying close attention, then the title of this video should start to make sense. Despite his pure aura and perfection, Perfect Cell doesn't really have any way of winning this. Zygarde just scales much higher and much more consistently. Perfect Cell is consistently stated to be capable of destroying the solar system with one attack. But using the anime, it's possible Cell could destroy the galaxy by using power levels multipliers in the Broly movie. However, this wouldn't be close enough to handle 50% Zygarde. Zygarde in its 50% form is very clearly a universe buster or even beyond, considering the scope of Ultra Space. Using the statement saying Cell was capable of destroying the universe literally, it still wouldn't be enough. Cell cannot destroy the other realms in the Dragon Ball universe, so he would be stuck destroying just the mortal realm, which is likely an infinite-sized universe. However, this is still worse than Ultra Necrozma, who has reliable statements putting him even higher due to Ultra Space not only being infinite, but having Ultra Wormholes with even more spaces beyond. While Complete Form Zygarde debatably could be weaker to Ultra Necrozma, it's pretty clear that Mega Zygarde isn't, meaning that even if you glaze Cell to the max, he cannot stand up to Zygarde. Cell might be smarter and have some cool techniques, but Zygarde has better experience and more techniques. Like, Cell can fire 15 different beam attacks, but that's it. His teleportation and regeneration are useful, but they're not as good as Zygarde's wide range of options, including counterparts to Cell's regeneration and teleportation. Not that Cell would be able to regenerate from an attack from Zygarde anyway. The only thing Cell has going for him is speed, because he's a Dragon Ball character. Goku dodging meteors that could possibly move in trillions or quadrillions times faster than light, but Zygarde wasn't so easily outsped. Just Solgaleo and Lunala can move millions of times faster than light. While trillion is certainly a lot higher than million, both feats come from weaker characters and don't really see the big picture. Cell is likely millions of times faster than that Goku feat, but Zygarde should be billions of times faster than Solgaleo and Lunala, due to them being a part of a part of a part of a part that Zygarde's weaker form fought. This is all assuming that Goku feat is legit, which is highly debatable. Even if Cell was a few thousand times faster, it wouldn't matter. His ki would wear out far before he would ever be able to hurt Mega Zygarde. I guess Legend Z8 came in clutch after all. There's just no way to scale Cell high enough to beat Zygarde, and if you were being fair to both characters, Cell wouldn't even get to see Power Construct activate. Add Zygarde onto the list of perfect Cell's many L's. Well, that was my first video. What'd you think? Did you know how strong these two were going in, or did you learn something? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, this is Mr. Catface, signing off. God bless.